Premier League consider cancelling Premier League season. Imagine how angry Liverpool fans will be about that. I tell you what, Ollie Innes will be happy as well, because he'll definitely be staying in a job if the season gets cancelled, won't he? But hello and welcome to the United Stand. Hope you're all doing well this morning. The positivity theme around Manchester United seems to roll on with some of the news today. We'll be talking about Sancho, we'll be talking about Toni Kroos, Harry Kane again, Jude Bellingham, but also Paul Pogba. This is the day that Paul Pogba, we should be seeing pictures of Pogba back in training this morning. Outside chance that he'll be involved for the Spurs game on Sunday. Why wouldn't he if he's back in training? This is a positive. I think it is a positive for United. Although there is a story out there from his brother saying that he wants him to play for Real Madrid. And I do always think, well, you can't really blame Pogba for that, for his brother talking, but I always think that the timing of everything is also... I just think it allows the cynics to have their say when it's the day that Pogba's back in training and yet there's a story about his brother saying he wants to go to Real Madrid. Is that coincidence? Is it Pogba's fault? But it always seems to happen on a day that's meant to be positive. Like, I mean, and I suppose this is the problem with Pogba, isn't it? It's the circus that comes with Paul Pogba, because we're having a good run at the moment. Welcome back, Pogba. Get your head down, work hard, get in the team, help us. What we don't want is, we're doing well at the moment, here's the circus of Pogba, will he, won't he stay again? And it just detracts from the good work that's being done. So let's keep an eye on that. But also, just going to talk off about Harry Kane here. Last week there was a story, I think, in Goal, which, you know, take it with a pinch of salt, talking about Harry Kane and Manchester United, etc. However, the Evening Standard have spoken about Harry Kane yesterday evening, actually, saying that Manchester United are confirmed admirers of Harry Kane and would like to bring him to Manchester United. It's a bit like being a confirmed admirer of a very attractive woman or man, and they may never be interested in you. It's a non-story in one way, but in another way, it is putting it out there to Harry Kane that Manchester United would like to sign you. But I would say about Harry Kane is that I'm a big fan of Harry Kane. I am. I do like him. I know some people don't, but whatever. It's personal opinion, isn't it? I think Harry Kane is a proven top-class striker who would score a lot of goals. I'd worry a bit about his injury record, to be honest. I mean, imagine Harry Kane with our medical staff. That would be, you know, we're going to need a bigger bed, because you're going to spend a lot of time rolling around in it, Harry Kane, I tell you that. But no, he's a good goal scorer. Definitely a good goal scorer, good hold-up of the play. He would make Manchester United better, and I think, you know, you look at the job that Ighalo's done, and whether Ighalo will be here next season or not, Harry Kane's a step up from Ighalo, but the similar sort of player in a little bit of ways, you know, a different type of striker. Martial's flair, Rashford's flair, Sancho would be flair, Ighalo, bit of just a striker, and I think Harry Kane would be that. But the problem with me with Harry Kane is, one, would he come to Manchester United? Yeah, I think potentially he would. But two, could we get him out of Spurs? I mean, his contract is still very long. Spurs would be looking for 150 million quid. We've never really been a massive spender of money to that extent. And we have got other priorities that we shouldn't be spending 150 million pounds on a striker. Which, actually, when you talk about Jadon Sancho, if you take any notice of betting odds, and what I would say about it is they don't get a lot wrong with the betting odds, but what they do tend to get wrong is start talking about a player that doesn't actually end up moving. We've seen that quite a lot. You know, you look back to January, you had Samori, Manchester United, and I think Chelsea were the favourites to sign him. Very big favourites. He doesn't even move. So that's what I think about betting odds. They tend to be right if the player moves, but if the player doesn't move, it's all a waste of time. So, talking about Jadon Sancho, United odds-on favourites to sign Jadon Sancho. Chelsea not too far behind, so I would be like, well, you know, whatever. Ultimately, I think it comes down to that race still. I said it about a month ago, and I'll keep saying it. I think this is not just a race for fourth place for Chelsea and Manchester United. I think it's also a race to Jadon Sancho. I still think United can sign Sancho if we don't get Champions League football, but I think if we do, we've got him. We will get him because we can afford it, we can pay the wages, and I think he would rather come to United than Chelsea because, you know what, United's a bigger platform than Chelsea. With all due respect, it is. So if we get Champions League football, I think we'll get Jadon Sancho. Simple as. And on that point, last night, Leicester, I thought they'd slip up against Aston Villa. They didn't. They go to being 8 points ahead of us again, which 8 points with 9 games to go sounds like a lot, but you look at the running we've got and you look at the running Leicester have got and you look at the fact that we've got to play Leicester on the last game of the season. I've got a feeling that that last game of the season there might be an opportunity that if we win, we'll get top 4, and if they lose, they don't. Or if they beat us, you know, I think it's going to be, I can see that Leicester United game being very, very important. And 8 points is a lot, but Leicester can drop 8 points quite quickly and we can make 8 points quite quickly. We just got to keep winning our games, and I think that's going to be very interesting. I still think we could get into that mix with Leicester, and the Europa League is another option for us. I just feel with United at the moment that You know, like Liverpool last season and Man City, you just couldn't see where they were going to lose a game. I just feel like that about United at the moment. And I know I'm making a meme there because we'll probably go and lose to Spurs or something, but I just feel that United have got momentum and consistency. A little bit like, I feel like it's a bit like the first 3 months of Ollie again, you know, where we just got into that groove. And I think Ollie is a manager who gets into grooves. He should call himself Madonna, get in the groove, because he does get into a groove of results. And I feel that we're in that sort of, we're going to go on a run of 3 months again. But the thing for, you know, I've got to go back and say what I said at the start of the season. If Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went and won every game for 3 months, would I be like forgiving of what's happened over the last year? And I said I wouldn't, because I think that this team has done that before and let us down. They've got to go beyond that. I would like to see us end this season well, take it into next season. I think United need to do it for 6 months. Everyone knows Ollie and these players can do it for 3 months. They've got to go and do it for 6 months. So, but I think this 3 months will get us top four. I feel like that at the moment. And there is positivity. I mean, look, this Jude Bellingham story is a very big story. And it didn't get lost yesterday, but it's massive. Absolutely massive. This is a 16-year-old who's not 17 until June. He's played over 30 games in the Championship. I think he's got about 4 goals, but that's not really his game. Jude Bellingham is a revelation. Like, Championship is a very hard league to play in. 46 games they play. Very competitive, very aggressive, very, you know, not the sort of place you'd expect to see a 16-year-old midfielder playing 30 games. But he's tall, he's gifted, he can carry the ball, he can tackle, and he's 16. He's going to get better and better and better. And when United were linked to him in January, I was like, yes, this is exactly the sort of player that we should be looking at. And then Dortmund come into the equation and you start to think, oh, it's not going to happen. But then he's at Carrington yesterday being shown around Manchester United, and basically Birmingham are very open to the fact that Jude Bellingham will be leaving. I mean, I'm in the Midlands, I know a couple of people who do Birmingham fan channels, and they're like, look, Birmingham are totally open to the fact that Jude Bellingham will go. He will bring money in that they desperately need because they might be falling foul of financial fair play again. What Birmingham want to see happen is that he goes and they maybe get him loaned back, which for me, I think that's great. But the interesting thing is there was a story last night that Solskjaer sees Bellingham as a first team player. And you think, well, look, is that right? Is that wrong? I would have been happy if Dan James got loaned back and he went into the first team. So why wouldn't Jude Bellingham? Yeah, he's 16, 17 in the summer, but he's played 30-something games in the Championship. And, you know, you look at what Gilmour's doing for Chelsea. He could go straight into a first team for Manchester United or a first team squad, and maybe that will be the plan. So Birmingham are very open to selling him. They are basically letting him go round and talk to clubs, which is a very mature, open approach in you know, when the transfer window's not even open yet. So United, Sir Alex Ferguson, there's rumours that Cantona were there. You can't do any more than that. I remember United doing this with Aaron Ramsey, and Sir Alex Ferguson didn't do it. I think Gary Neville showed him round. He went to Arsenal, Wenger showed him round, and he felt that Arsenal made more of an effort. So United have made a very big effort here with Jude Bellingham and Sir Alex Ferguson getting involved. And I you know, you saw his dad coming out smiling. Apparently Everton are interested. I presume Dortmund are interested. You would hope we would win this race. You would hope that we would win this race, because look at Greenwood, look at Brandon Williams, Tahith Chong's just signed a contract. Ollie has shown that he and has spoken about the youth. So I would be very, very excited about this signing. And I know a lot of you don't know much about him, and you'd be like, well, you know, whatever. But I would say be very excited if we get this signing. And I would say to Jude Bellingham, come to Manchester United. We'll look after you, we'll love you, and you'll be a fantastic player here. And I really, really hope it happens, because I think this, to me, would be a massively positive signing. This isn't like a 15, 16-year-old that we have been buying over the last few years, that, you know, they sort of go into the youth setup and you're waiting for them to come through. This is a 16-year-old who's playing first-team football in the Championship. I would love it if we can get that deal over the line and done. Very interesting. Another report coming in from Spain this morning that Manchester United are in a 3-horse race for Toni Kroos, involving PSG and Bayern Munich. I don't see this. And I think we get used to this, don't we? Manchester United is a name that gets thrown in. We still have to have our eyes open to that. We will always get thrown into deals. We will always have to discuss these sort of transfers that United have got no interest or likelihood of doing. We're not going to sign Toni Kroos. We aren't going to sign Toni Kroos. I mean, I just don't see it. I don't think he's the right age to be coming to the Premier League. I said it about Rakitic last year. I think when you've not played in the Premier League and you're coming into the Premier League in your late 20s or 30s, early 30s as a midfielder, very, very difficult, very demanding. And I just don't see Toni Kroos coming to Manchester United. I'm not scratching my nose because I'm lying. I had an itch. So yeah, I don't see Toni Kroos coming to Manchester United. I like Toni Kroos. I would love him. I mean, it's very interesting what he said the other week about how close he was to signing for Manchester United under David Moyes. David Moyes got the sack and Van Gaal scuppered the deal. So we very nearly did get Kroos in 2013, 7 years ago. I'll take that, Toni Kroos. I definitely would. But I just don't see that is the sort of deal that United want to do. And to be honest with you, if I can be honest, I would say this. If you had the choice between Toni Kroos or Jude Bellingham, a lot of you are going to go Toni Kroos. I would go Jude Bellingham. I think that is more about where United need to go, and Toni Kroos is more about where we've tried to go over the last 6 years. These Di Maria signings, these Schweinsteiger signings, whereas Jude Bellingham, I think that is a future signing, and Jude Bellingham would be the most significant future signing we've ever made. As I said, we've made a lot of signings from youth setups, etc. Chong came in, at a young age from Holland, and we've done it a few times. But a player that's already playing in the Championship, that's British proven, he's proven he can do it in these leagues, coming in at 16 years of age, I think it's just an absolutely exciting signing to make. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We've got through a lot there. Do not miss the Flex and Rant show at 1 o'clock when that goes up. Darren Bent, ex-footballer of Spurs, Villa, Sunderland. I think he won the Golden Boot, didn't he, there? He's talking about Solskjaer and everything. And look, Rants is Ollie out. You know it. Ollie, and Flex is Ollie in, so it's a very good show. I've already watched it. I've seen the premiere of that. Check it out, 1 o'clock. Subscribe if you're new. Smash a like on the video, and I'll see you later on. Live tonight. I'm 7 o'clock live tonight because I'm doing a Spurs watch along on That's Football, mainly because I want to watch Spurs ahead of the game on Sunday and see what they're all about. I'll see you at 7 live. Flex and Rants at 1, and get your comments in below.